So I wanted to share with you an experience that I had many years ago whilst spending time with a shaman. I had several sessions with a shaman in Glastonbury, which I'm extremely grateful for. During the sessions, we experienced things like Kambu for detox, Hachuba or San Pedro cactus for external experience, and for internal experience, mushrooms or even ayahuasca. Really quite incredible experience. I gained a tremendous amount from that. But in particular, one of the experiences I had, and I think it was during a mushroom ceremony, which enabled me to understand the significant power of the Gatsu or the prayer position and why it's used in prayer and how God or Source works in order to create that incredible feeling of connection and tranquility when you're in this state. So I was I was kind of in a trance, and I was able to feel my energy, the whole energy in my body, and I was able to move it about and to play with it. And at one point, I was focusing on the energy that I could create between my hands. And in my perception, what I was doing was creating a capacitor because I could feel the energy building up in between my hands, and I could feel the heat that it was generating. And what happened, which was quite incredible, was when I closed my hands together, I knew that I'd completed the circuit, that I'd completed my energy circuit in my body, and I felt the most incredible and powerful transition between the capacitor and the closing of the circuit. And I went immediately into a very, very deep meditative state. And ever since that point, every time I close my hands or I put my hands in the Gatsu position, I go immediately into that deep meditative state, which is so useful because, for example, if you're meditating and it's not perhaps a quiet or you get interrupted or anything happens during the meditation, previously I'd have found it very difficult to get back into that meditative state. However, now what I could do was simply just put my hands into Gatsu position and bang, I'm straight back into that reality. So yeah, so for me, it explained exactly why the prayer position is adopted, particularly when connecting to Source, connecting to God, and how incredibly powerful it is, particularly in a meditative state. So I hope that's been useful, and sending you tremendously positive, unconditional love and healing energy. Thank you.